Russian armored vehicles keep pouring into Ukraine, with one convoy stretching 60 kilometers. They are heading to Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. These people look on in fear as Russian troops make their way through the southern city of Kherson, also aiming for the capital. Millions of people have fled to the western city of Lviv, some to be reunited with their families and loved ones, while others can only wait and hope. Ukrainian forces are putting up a strong resistance. These Russian tankers were destroyed just northeast of the capital. And here, a Russian missile platform in northern Kyiv is blown up by a drone. President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for a no-fly zone over Ukraine to stop Moscow's bombardment, a request rejected by the U.S.
Devastation in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, Tuesday, after Russian rockets rained down on the city, leaving buildings in ruins with blood and bodies in the street. Some residents helped emergency service workers, while others were in a state of shock. As Russian commanders intensified their bombardment of Ukrainian urban areas, Russian forces attacked a television tower in Kyiv, killing 5 people and potentially disrupting its signal, according to Ukrainian officials on Tuesday. The Russian Defense Ministry warned residents in Kyiv to leave their homes, saying that Russia would also strike sites belonging to Ukraine's security service, but gave no indication of where in the city of 3 million people those targets were located.
And NATO allies have rushed to bolster their eastern flank after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Thousands of troops backed by air and naval support have been sent to protect allies near Russia and Ukraine. NATO does not have troops in Ukraine, but the alliance has beefed up its defense in countries down its eastern flank in recent weeks. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has called on Russia to end the war in Ukraine and withdraw all its forces. Stoltenberg made the comments during a visit to Poland's last air base. He added that while the alliance would support Ukraine in other ways, it would not send troops to combat jets here, as it does not want to become part of the conflict.
Russian armed forces have taken the city of Kherson under total control. Civilian infrastructure, critical infrastructure, and public transport work as usual. There is no shortage of groceries or staple goods. Russian military commanders continue talks with the administration of city and region regarding maintenance of objects of social infrastructure, law and order, and safety. To prevent informational attacks against Russia, technical objects of the Security Service of Ukraine and 72nd Main Center for Information and Psychological Operations in Kyiv were attacked with high-precision weapons. The TV power broadcast was disabled. Residential buildings were not destroyed.
The United Nations says more than 660,000 people have fled Ukraine since the invasion began just a week ago. The majority of the people have headed for Poland. The UN fears that number could rise as high as 4 million in just the next few weeks. Now, shelters have been set up along the border with Ukraine.
Another train arrives at Przemysl station in Poland. On board, refugees who are fleeing from the neighbouring war zone in Ukraine. Most arriving here are women, children and the elderly. At the moment, Ukrainian men aged between 18 and 60 who are fit for military service are not allowed to leave Ukraine.
Boeing is the latest company to cut ties with Russia following its invasion of Ukraine. The American airplane manufacturer said late Tuesday that it was suspending parts, maintenance and technical support for Russian airlines. The The United States said it would follow the European Union and Canada in banning Russian flights from its airspace. Boeing's announcement came as aircraft and engine manufacturers, lessors and maintenance, repair and overhaul providers with Russian clients face a raft of EU and US bans. There are also potential payment difficulties after some Russian banks were banned from the SWIFT payment system.
The conflict in Ukraine has global oil markets in deepening turmoil. As fighting appeared to escalate, crude prices soared past $110 per barrel. At one point Wednesday, they hit highs not seen since mid-2014. The surge comes as traders seek alternatives to Russian oil. It normally accounts for about 8% of global supply. Now, Western powers are yet to put any direct sanctions on the country's energy exports. But traders in New York and elsewhere say they are shunning Russian oil. Energy trade has also been complicated by sanctions on Russian banks. Finding alternative sources won't be easy though, as supplies of crude were already tight even before the Ukraine crisis.